If you don't mind, while everybody is jumping on, please tell me in the chat where you're from. If you are on the Zoom room, please set your chat to all panelists and attendees. That way everybody can see what you type, but I would love to see if you are new or you're here for a refresh and where you're from. I would love to know that. And we're going to give everybody until 8:03 to get on here. Hey, Lisa, glad you're back tonight. That's awesome. From Charleston, South Carolina. Very good. Very good. Ann Winters, okay, Charlotte, North Carolina, second day, that's awesome. And Erlinda, Dalton, Georgia, new member. Oh, y'all excuse me, sorry about that. Man, that came out of nowhere. All right, let's see what time it is. It is 8:03, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started. I'm gonna share my screen with you tonight. And if you don't mind, please get ready to type and make sure that tell me if you can see this page that says Shibboleth New Member Fast Track, Phase 1, Week 1. Please let me know if you can see that. Awesome, very good. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And those of you that have joined me in the Zoom room or on Facebook, if you're watching, please let me know if you did your post this morning. Did you see the post that came out in the group this morning, the Shibboleth New Member Fast Track group? And if so, did you watch it and do that? Did you do it? If you did your post, I would love to know if you did that. Okay, so in the new member fast track group, if you didn't get a notification that it was going to happen, I would like for you to go back in and I would like for you to look for it. It'll say day 2 of your 7-day fast track. You're going to want to watch that because it shows you how to utilize parts of the website and it gives you your assignment for the day. So, you know, Facebook can be weird. So if you need to go back in there just because you didn't get a notification about it, go to the group and look for the post that says day 2 because today is day 2. Today is the only day with 2 parts. A morning video that I already had pre-made as a YouTube video and an assignment, and tonight this live one. And every other morning you're going to have a YouTube video with an assignment. So make sure y'all go into the group and look for that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to look at these different combinations that you can put together because component number 3 of the Shibboleth Shield is combining foods in a way that control insulin. Now, component number 4 of the Shibboleth Shield is portion control. Well, you know, most of the time when people think, I need to lose weight, let me cut back on what I'm eating, people kind of have that concept. They've got that concept that they need to cut back on calories. But guess what? Shibboleth members lose 2 to 3 times more weight than other people who are just trying to control calories because we've also eaten food in a way that controls insulin, and that gives us the ability to efficiently burn fat. So we're going to go over some of those really powerful and awesome combinations tonight. Now, the way that I do this webinar is awesome. Now, Dana, the videos that I was talking about, that's in the new member fast track group. I'm hoping that's what you're asking about. Every single morning, there is a post from me in the new member fast track group. It'll be till Saturday. And you'll want to watch that video because it's me showing you how to utilize the website and giving you your assignment for the day. And even if you don't get them in your notifications, you need to go to that group each morning this week and look for that. Okay. And I have them, they'll come out before 6 o'clock in the morning. So if you're an early riser, that's good. You can just get started. Okay. And if you haven't liked the Shibboleth public page, please do that, because I do a little morning show called the Shibby Show just for fun and motivation, and it gets us focused in on what we're going to accomplish for that particular day. So like the Shibboleth public page for that. Awesome. Great, Dana. That's good. Okay, so the way that I do this is I'm going to read the different foods that are in each one of these columns as we come to something that is new, because I'm not going to reread the lean proteins every single time we come to a row that has a column of lean proteins. I'm only going to read the new stuff, okay, because that would be pointless if I read them every single time. But I am going to read them every time we have a new list, so that you can hear, because see, part of the whole program and part of combining foods in a way that control insulin is knowing the types of foods and what foods are in the different categories. Because this is a great webinar to help you familiarize yourself with things that are in the categories. Okay, so this first one is category 1, lean protein. It says that you can have 2 to 8 ounces, and some things that are in that are egg whites, fish, all your fish are in this category, chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil. The reason it says boar's head is those tend to be leaner. Low fat cottage cheese, fat free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef frank, and 96% lean ground meat. Those are just some examples of lean proteins. We also don't go overboard in all the examples of food, because we don't want you to get overwhelmed in the first week. We like to keep it focused down just to a little bit smaller food list, so that you kind of get the hang of it and you get some success under your belt, and then you'll start learning more than just this list. We do have the top 3 listed there. Egg whites, fish, all fish, and then chicken breast are your top 3 choices for lean proteins. So if you're trying to go to the absolute best for you, it would be the top 3 listed right there. But any lean protein actually works. Now you're going to see that we have a flame and a plus sign. Now what that means is that this is excellent for fat burning. The little flame does. The plus sign just means you're just putting all this together, or you're putting these things together to cook it or doctor it up with some condiments. You can cook one of these lean proteins in one of these cooking oils. Our number 1 highly recommended cooking oil is the Zero Drag 100% MCT oil. You can find that online at the Shibboleth store. I highly recommend that you go ahead and buy that. You are going to want it. And the MCT oil is thermogenic, so it helps burn a little extra calories, and it is great to use. MCT stands for medium chain triglyceride, and medium chain triglycerides burn up like that. And so it has almost no propensity to be stored on the body as fat. And in fact, some of it gets used up in the cooking process. So you aren't even ingesting all the calories that are in that as well. But then it just burns up very, very quickly, which is great. So we highly recommend that particular brand. Now I'm going to tell you, I don't question Travis. Travis has studied this for a very long time. And if he says that that one is the best brand, that's just what I'm going to use. And that's what I've bought since last April. And honestly, I've only had to buy 2 of them. I used up that one, and then I just bought another one this year. So, you know, 1 little tablespoon at a time doesn't go away very quickly. But yeah, I really only cook for 1 or 2 people though. So if you're cooking for more, you might buy some more often, but it's very much worth it. And they send it in this really, really cool bubble wrap thing that I've never seen before, to make sure that the glass container arrives to your house safely. Coconut oil is also acceptable. It is 60% MCT oil. Ghee butter would also give you that butter taste that you might be looking for. Hemp oil is fine, and 0-calorie cooking spray works as well. And this one, the top two in this for you to use would be the MCT oil. And if you're not using MCT oil, then the 0-calorie cooking spray is the best. But then if you can use those others as well. I just like to tell you what would be the absolute best for there. The MCT oil I use with things that do not have extra fat in them. So if something's got extra fat in them, I would use the 0-calorie cooking spray to not add extra fat. And then we've got a little flame here and a plus sign, and this is just showing you some condiments that you can use to doctor up your chicken or your fish and make it really tasty. You can use any 0-calorie condiments. You can use 15-calorie or less spices and seasonings, salt and pepper, 15-calorie or less coffee creamers. I know that doesn't exactly go with lean protein, but that's kind of answering the question about the coffee creamers. Salsa, salsa, reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, fat-free, Kraft mayo. Now, obviously, all these things that I'm reading off to you are just very, very small lists. But if you'll look right here, this says 5 to few rule. Actually, anything that you want to use as a condiment will work as long as it meets this rule. It needs to have per serving 5 grams of sugar or less and 2 grams of fat per serving or less. And you're not going to use more than 50 calories of it. That's the few part. You're not overdoing it with calories, because we have ingested a lot of calories over the years in sauces and dressings and condiments. Taking that ketchup, nope, now we're going to measure it out. Honestly, you guys, it's just, you don't even need as much as we have put on there in the past. So it's the 5, 2, and few rule. One way to remember that when you're at the store is sugar has 5 letters in it. So it's going to look for 5 grams of sugar or less, 2 grams of fat or less, and you don't want to use more than 50 calories worth of condiments on a meal. Now, what that does mean is you can have more than one condiment as long as they fit the 5-2 rule, and then the total of the condiments shouldn't be more than 50 calories per meal. You can have up to 50 calories per meal in a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner if you want to, but I would like for you to realize that those add up. We are trying to get into a calorie deficit of at least 3,500 calories in order to lose a pound of fat. And if you're just adding random calories that you might not need, it is slowing down your process a little bit. But if you don't mind that the process is a little bit slower and you would rather have 50 calories of condiments per meal, then that is your decision and you will lose weight. It just might take just a little bit longer than somebody who's really being careful and choosing not to have all those condiments. So for example, good example is this. Sometimes I put a slice of cheese on maybe a little egg sandwich. I don't even taste the cheese. So I'm like, why? Why do I even need it on there? So I put it on things that's going to make a difference in the taste. I don't do it just because I've always done it. If you have questions while we're going through this, please feel free to type them in, and I might check them as I go along, or I might check them in the end. We'll just have to see how the flow is going, because I know sometimes if I start getting off track, guess what happens? I have a hard time getting back on track. Okay. Now, this next row that you're going to see right here, the only thing that is changing in this row is the column for category 7. Now, I'm going to scroll back up just a minute. You see right here? This is just showing you that if you watched the video last night, you would have heard me say this. You can eat a lean protein by itself if you want to. This one is just showing you that you can eat a category 7 by itself if you want to. Then category 7 is shellfish, and it really is a lean protein. And you've got crab, lobster, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, and clams. Those are some of the things that you can eat in that category. And then it is excellent for fat burning because it's a lean protein. It's the same oils as listed above and the same condiments as listed above. So that's just showing you that that is an excellent fat burning meal. If you just wanted to have about 8 ounces of shrimp on a plate, that'd be great. It'd be an excellent fat burning meal. We're going to scroll down a little bit more. In this row, the only thing that's changing is the addition of these hemp products. So you've got hemp hearts, hemp flakes, very sweet hemp flakes, hemp protein powder, and hemp oil. Now, hemp products are an excellent, excellent food and nutrition source. So maybe you took some of this lean protein and you just sprinkled hemp flakes on top of there. I hear people love that. They'll put their egg whites and their hemp flakes together. This is excellent for fat burning. There are videos on hemp in the video library if you'd like to know more about that. Hemp hearts are considered a category 6, which is a superfood, but hemp flakes are considered a category 1 and 2. So it is a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So we are going to scroll a little bit more, and this is just showing you, see this one right here was showing you that you could have your category 1 lean protein with some hemp hearts, cook it up in the right oil and doctor it up with your condiments. And then this row right here is showing you that you could put your shellfish with some hemp products, cook it up in the right oil and add your condiments. These are all excellent fat burning meals. We're going to scroll a little bit more. And then the new thing in here is this one, the category 2 fibrous carbs. They're so, so good for you. And you'll notice here that all the fibrous carbs that we have listed are of the veggie family. But we do have over 60 approved bread or bread type items in our program, and you're welcome to use them. The absolute best for weight loss would be an actual vegetable fibrous carb, and for health reasons too, that would be the best. But you're welcome to use the category 2 bread or bread type items. The reason that we have those in there is because it helps to make the program sustainable. We don't exclude any macronutrient, and that is an excellent, excellent thing. So let's read over the list, the short list that we've got right here. Broccoli, asparagus, squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers, bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, and dill pickles. So you could do a half a cup up to a cup of those. What you want to remember is you're still portion controlling. So you put your hands together, you put them down over your food, you lower your hands down over your food, and as long as you can't see your food sticking out around your hands, then you have portion controlled. You are good to go. So a half a cup to a cup, it really is going to depend on the size of your stomach. If you don't want to get to the point where you're feeling full, when you get to the point of feeling full, you've actually just overeaten just a little bit. So stop eating before you feel full. So if you realize that a cup of this was too much, make sure you just do a half a cup, okay? So you don't want to get that overly full feeling. And we are trying to shrink our stomach and not need that overly full feeling that we have gotten used to. We've gotten used to it. So let's scroll down a little bit more. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right here. So category 1 plus 2 plus MCT is the fastest fat burning meal according to Travis, and it's one of the best. So what you'll do is you'll take anything right here from this category 1 that you like, and you combine it with anything from this category 2 that you like. I would cook it up in some MCT oil, put some seasoning on it, and you have an excellent, excellent meal. So we're going to scroll down again, and as we're scrolling down, we've already read all of these little lists, but this is showing you that you could put a 7 and a 2 together, cook it up in the right oil, doctor it up with some condiments, and you'll have another excellent fat burning meal. We're going to scroll down just a little bit more, and if you will notice that our flame went away. It's still going to plus, okay? That plus just means you're putting them together. But the flame went away because this one is good for fat burning, but it's not the best for fat burning. It's not excellent for fat burning, but it is very, very good. So there's no reason not to do it. We just like to let you know the levels of things so that you can choose to do what go at the speed you want to in accomplishing your goal. So let's read our new list here. Category 6, superfood: pintos, black beans, red beans, soybeans, peanut butter, nuts, and seeds. So, and obviously that's just a really small list, but how does food end up in the category 6 superfood category? It ends up in that category because it has all the macronutrients in it. It's got water in it, it's got carbs in it, it's got protein and fat. It has all the macronutrients in it. So that's how something qualifies to be a superfood, a superfood. And then it's just showing you right there, you could put some condiments on there and you can eat that superfood right up. I have no problem at all eating a cup to a cup and a half of black beans with this seasoning. I like this seasoning called Herbamare. Herbamare is Herbamare, I believe. Herbamare is so tasty. I love that. So I can just sprinkle some down on some black beans and be happy, happy, happy. Now, used to, I might put those black beans over some rice. I don't do that anymore. But, you know, I didn't know I shouldn't be doing that before. And now that I have, I just don't make that move. Now we're going to look right here. And again, we have a great fat burning meal. We have added our category 6 superfood with our category 2 fibrous carb. You doctor it up and it's really, really good. Travis a lot of times calls this beans and greens. So you get your beans and your greens and you doctor it up and it's going to be it's going to be a good, great fat burning meal. All of these actually are great for fat burning. Some just ramp it up a little bit more than the others. Okay, so now we scroll down again and you'll notice that the flame is not back, but it is still a great fat burning meal. Let's look over this. It's our category 4, protein plus fat. If you will notice, our ounces that we can have went down a little bit as compared to the lean protein and the shellfish. The reason that is there's a lot more calories in fat, and so we need to bring down the ounces a little bit more because we are still trying to control calories. But I want to let you know that this protein plus fat is excellent for you. There's nothing wrong with it. The protein is great, and the fat is not a bad, unhealthy fat. In fact, it's just going to get used up as energy. We did not combine it with anything that's going to bring an insulin release and therefore store the fat that's in here. It'll get used up as energy. But the reason that this is not listed as a super duper fat burning meal is because 1, there's more calories in it, and 2, there's some fat in it that does need to be used up as energy. And so your body's going to use that as energy first before it gets to stored fat. But so that's why the others are better. But I did a whole bunch of these in weight loss too. So these work as well. And I don't want you to be afraid of them. Your whole eggs are here. All your steak is here. Pork ribs, beef ribs, turkey spam, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% up to 95.9% lean ground meat, and turkey kielbasa, as long as the calories, more than 50% of the calories are not coming from fat. So you'd want to check that. Now, I'm going to go talking about what you might want to cook these in. See, I would not cook these in MCT oil because they already have some fat in them. So let's just talk about eggs real quick. If you want to cook some egg whites, you could use your MCT oil. But if you're cooking whole eggs, I highly suggest the 0-calorie cooking spray. So right here, we've got a category 4 plus 2, and then we've doctored it up with our condiments. Now, what I'm going to talk about right now is your category 4. What you do not want to pair this category 4 with is a category 3 energy carb, category 5 fruit, or category 6 superfoods. You don't want to pair that with a category 4 protein plus fat. So this right here, the category 4 protein plus fat, let's say that you've paired it with something that is going to bring an insulin release. Now, the category 3 and 5 brings more of an insulin release than the category 6, but we still, just to keep ourselves safe, we don't pair that with a category 4. Now, let's just talk about the classic plate at a steakhouse. You order steak and baked potato. Well, first of all, the baked potato is sometimes the size of a small head, person's head. I mean, these things are huge they put on your plate. And it's going to bring a very, very large insulin release when you eat that. And then the protein plus fat that you ate, the steak, there's some fat lipids, obviously, in that. And those fat lipids are roaming around in your body. Well, they're roaming around in your body, and that would be no problem if you chose to have it with this right here, anything from this list right here. That would be no problem because that fat would not be stored and it would be used up as energy. But if you pair it with that potato, that insulin comes out. That insulin is just going to do its job. Its job is to store fat. So we just have to understand and know that, and now make the best decisions that we can based on this new knowledge that we have. So we didn't, if we eat that with the potato brings the insulin release. That insulin, just like a bus, goes around and picks up people and takes them to their destination. It's going to go around and pick up those fat lipids, and it's going to store them. We don't want to store them. So now when you're at Longhorn or a steakhouse and you order that steak, enjoy your steak, but have it with their broccoli, their green beans, their asparagus, their side salad, okay? Because there's nothing in any of those things that are going to store that fat that you ate. Is that not amazing to know? That there's a reason that you don't order these things like that, that it's not just a diet and somebody's telling you what to eat. There's a scientific reason as to why you don't pair food together like that. Now, I still like that kind of stuff. It's just that I've learned to, if I want to eat something like that, I have it on a holiday. I'll know it's a holiday. I plan it for a holiday, and I still get to enjoy that. It's just that I'm not doing that every single day now, because that's where the problem came in. We're going to scroll a little bit more. Now, right here, we have gotten to a new column. I've already read the lean proteins and the fibers, carbs, and the condiments, but we've got a new column right here. These category 3 energy carbs. Now, it says 1/4 cup up to 1/2 a cup. If you're in weight loss mode, which means that you have not hit your goal weight yet and you don't have your victory badge, then I would stick with 1/4 of a cup. 1/2 a cup is really a maintenance strategy or a maintenance amount. 1/4 of a cup is what you're going to want to do. Now, keep in mind, too, that you're still portion controlling all this food. It still needs to be underneath your hands. Your protein, your lean protein would probably take up one hand, and then your energy carb and then your fibers carb would take up the space underneath this hand, if you want to look at it like that. But let's read over some things that are in this list. All of your potatoes are here. Oatmeal, your steel cut oats, weight control oatmeal, long grain brown rice, quinoa, lima beans, peas, all of your peas, tomato, onion, carrots, and then whole wheat pastas and whole grain pastas. I'm going to tell you right now, I would not do any whole wheat or whole grain pastas. If it were me, I would order the carbonara pasta from the website. I would also order the black bean Explore Cuisine pasta from our website too. It's excellent. And those are more, the black bean stuff, the black bean pasta thingies is like a category 1 and 2 together. And the carbonara pasta is a 1, 2, and 3 together. So if it were me, I wouldn't even order this kind of, I wouldn't buy that kind of pasta. I'd buy the stuff that, you know, is not going to bring the fat bus at all. Because eating this right here, eating this energy carb, this category 3, is going to bring a little bit of an insulin release. It just is. It's going to happen. That's science. But what we're doing is we're combining it with a lean protein and a fibers carb. So if you want to eat an energy carb, you just have to know that it must be eaten with a category 1 and a category 2. What is happening behind, this is the science behind it. A little bit of an insulin release is going to come from that energy carb. But you also portion controlled it so it wasn't massive doses, okay? It was just a little bit. But then the protein in the lean protein and the fiber in the fibrous carb are going to neutralize the insulin release from this category 3 energy carb. So therefore, you have had a perfectly combined meal. Now, this isn't the fastest weight loss meal, but it will also not bring you out of efficient fat burning for doing it, okay? Now let's scroll down a little bit more, and we are going to look at this one. So I've already read the category 1, lean proteins, and the category 2, fibrous carbs. Now I'm going to read the category 5, fruit. Honestly, I don't even need to read it. All fruit goes in that category, so I'm not going to waste time reading it. All fruit is in that. But your best fruit are your berries and then an apple, if you're going to do those, because the rest of them bring a little bit more of an insulin release due to their higher glycemic index. So if you want to eat fruit, then you must pair it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So a lot of people like to eat fruit at breakfast. So let's talk about what that might look like. Let's say you want to have a 1/4 cup of strawberries. You need to eat it with maybe some egg whites and maybe some spinach or bell peppers in an omelet. That would be a perfectly combined meal. Or maybe you do some berries in some Greek plain yogurt. And then you have, I'm gonna venture into our bread real quick. Maybe you have a slice of Sara Lee 45 calorie delightful toast. That would make a perfectly combined meal. Now, just like the one above, it's not your fastest for weight loss, but maybe you enjoy the ride a little bit more. Maybe you enjoy your journey a little bit more because you're having some of these things. I also want you to know that you just have to treat fruit differently while you are in weight loss. In weight loss, if you want to eat a category 5, it must be compared with the 1 and the 2. But when you get into maintenance, you may have a serving of fruit by itself as a snack. But in weight loss, you just have to treat it a little bit differently. And what I want you to know is you're trying to achieve a goal. Let's just get down to it and get that done and get into maintenance. Because in maintenance, you get up to 12 holidays in a calendar month. In weight loss, you get up to 6 holidays in a calendar month. Well, let's get on to maintenance and let's be living this as a lifestyle. So you want to do the fastest fat burning things, I would think. Get it off and then get into maintenance. Now, we've gone over all of those. You guys, let me know if you have any questions at all. Before I move into these other things, I am going to look on Facebook real quick and see who is on there, and then we will move into these other things. Hey, Nicole, if you guys are still on here, I don't know, but I'm going to say hello to everybody. Hey, Nicole and Elaine and Susan and Carrie and Deborah and Gina and Ashley and Rhonda, my friend Rhonda. So you guys let me know if you have any questions at all. I'll be happy to answer them, but I'm going to go ahead and move into these other things at the bottom here. So remember how I told you that there's over 60 approved bread or bread type items in the category 2 column. Now remember, less bread is best. I would not want to do it at 3 meals a day. And if you're going to have bread, it's really best to do that at breakfast or at lunch, if you're optimizing, and because it's better to have it earlier in the day rather than before you go to bed. So let's look at some of the choices. La Tortilla Factory 50 calorie tortilla, Olay Extreme Wellness high fiber tortilla, Healthy Life bread, Nature's Own double fiber wheat bread, Bran Crisp bread, Healthy Life hot dog buns, the 100 calorie Thomas Light English muffins, and I really like the Sara Lee Delightful 45 calorie multigrain bread. It tastes so, so good. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? Glad you're on. That's awesome. And then let's look at some approved sweeteners. Stevia, Splenda, monk fruit, xylitol, those are all approved. I'm going to address this artificial sweetener question. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. It's just some people don't mind using it. And so I consider Shibboleth, it's like an umbrella policy. It's like an insurance policy that you've bought, but it's an umbrella policy. You could do 100% all organic foods on here if you want to and just combine them in the right way. You can have Hormel turkey spam and Splenda if you want to. But guess what? This is so good because this meets everybody where they are in their journey, and it allows you to customize it for yourself. So if there's something on this plan that you don't like to eat, then don't eat it. That's up to you. But the combinations, the water, the journaling, portion control, and timing has nothing to do with the food choices that you decide to buy for yourself. All right, let's look at approved beverages. First of all, water. That is the #1 thing on our Shibboleth Shield. We want to drink at least 64 ounces of water in a day. Your goal is a gallon. If you are working on getting that gallon in, guess what? You are very satisfied, and it helps with appetite control. So you're going to want to do that. 0-calorie beverages of any type work fine, unsweet or approved tea, and coffee, but only with approved sweeteners. And hey, Frankie, how are you? I'm going to see. Okay, so Dana's asking about the bread. The bread that I buy is the Sara Lee Delightful 45-calorie bread, and I prefer the multigrain one. So Sara Lee Delightful 45-calorie multi-grain is what I like. Okay, and Erlinda is asking about honey. Honey, actual real honey is not approved at this time in weight loss for sure. You could use that when you get to maintenance, but not in weight loss. It brings a pretty strong insulin release. So you could use sugar-free honey if you are willing to do that. You could use sugar-free honey, but I would not choose that in weight loss, okay? My favorite out of all of these approved sweeteners right here is xylitol. I love it. I love xylitol. I think it's great. I use that in my hot tea in the morning. And I bought a monk fruit syrup. So I made some carb quick pancakes, and then I used monk fruit as my syrup, a monk fruit syrup, which was really good. Now let's look at these cheese choices right here. Now, honestly, if you could leave cheese off, it's really best. Cheese doesn't do our bodies any favors, but again, we want to make this program sustainable for everybody. And so you can lose weight using this, and that's our goal right now. Our goal is to lose weight. So focus on losing weight, do what you got to do to get that done, and then you could possibly change up some things. Because honestly, when you're losing weight and then you move into different areas in your journey, we have advanced programs in Shibboleth. It's just that right now we're learning the basics. But if you need to use cheese, this is the best. Now, you'll notice that you don't want to use any more than 50 calories of it if you're just using cheese. But let's say you want some ketchup and some cheese. If you use 20 calories of ketchup, you're only going to want to use 30 calories of cheese because your condiments shouldn't be more than 50 per meal. So let's have a look at this. Fat-free feta cheese, Kraft fat-free cheese, Borden fat-free cheese, Cabot extra light cheese, Laura Lynn fat-free cheese, Kroger brand fat-free cheese, and Lifetime fat-free cheese. The one on this list that Travis says is the best is this Lifetime fat-free cheese. I've not seen it in any stores, but I have been on their website, and you would just order it from the Lifetime website, not ours, the Lifetime one. But the cheeses that I like that are on here, I like the Borden fat-free cheese. I use that as my cheese single. So if I'm making myself an approved grilled cheese, I use that. And then if I'm making a salad and I want some little shredded cheese on top of my salad, my fibrous carb salad, I use the Cabot extra light cheese. It is a block cheese. And when I get it home from the store, I cut it into 50-calorie chunks. So it's already ready to go. And then when I'm ready to make that, I just take it and shred it over my fibrous carb salad. And there I have my little flavored cheese on there, which is really good. So let's have a look at this lean protein, this milk. You can have 8 up to 16 ounces. Now, milk is honestly, I don't just drink milk for the heck of it. I use it in recipes and other things like that. Because milk, just like cheese, is not the absolute best thing for our bodies, but again, making it sustainable. If you are using milk as a lean protein, because this is category 1 lean protein, if you are using it like that as a component of a meal, you'll use about 8 ounces of it. But if you are just drinking a milk for a meal, you can use 16 ounces of it. And so our options are fat-free Fairlife milk and Kroger Carbmaster milk. The reason that we have those 2 milks rather than other ones, oh, and hemp milk, but I don't really find hemp milk at many stores, so I forgot about it. These 2 right here, they have protein added to them. So this is why even skim milk doesn't work. Skim milk doesn't work because it doesn't have the protein that you need in it. So these are fat-free and they have the added protein that you need. Just imagine that you are going to use one of these little cereals down here. Let's look at this right here. Cereals. Got the Kashi Go Lean Original, K's Natural Cereal, the High-Low Nutritious Living. Those are some of the best cereals for weight loss. We have other cereals. I think the peanut butter Captain Crunch is approved, but there's some approved cereals in there, Special K red berries and that kind of thing. But see, those things are starchier. Because they're starchier, you've got to have the protein in that milk that helps offset the insulin release from the starchier cereals. So this is why we choose to use these cereals that have protein in them rather than just a skim milk that doesn't have all the protein that you need to make that work. Now on these cereals, you can use 1 cup up to 1.5 cups. Now this varies per cereal. So if you just happen to dig in to the food library and you say, oh my goodness, Boo Berry is, Count Chocula or Boo Berry is approved. I don't know if they are, I'm just saying. If you saw that they were approved, then you would want to make sure you saw how much to use of that. You might not get to use as much of that kind of quality cereal as compared to this quality cereal, okay? And I really don't eat cereal, so I haven't looked up too many of those. So let's go back right here and look at breadings and flours. So we would lightly bread something with coconut flour, Carb Quick flour, Bob's TVP, or almond flour. So all of those are okay to lightly dust something. I hear people talking about all the time. They take okra, they spritz that okra with some MCT oil, they put some Carb Quick on it or one of those other little flour products on there, put it in their air fryer and just fry that up. And they say it's like eating popcorn, but it's okra and it's good for you and it's not going to hurt anything at all. You can do that. I like to take Carb Quick and put it on some chicken with some nature's seasoning and then cook it in some MCT oil in the oven. And then I cook it about 8-9 minutes and then I'll flip them over and cook it about 8-9 minutes. It's so yummy and so simple. And then I'm not going to reread these condiments right here because we've already gone over all of those. So let's have a look down here. This is one of our other options on this program. So on this program, you can combine all these whole foods that we've been talking about tonight, or you can look up recipes, and those recipes will tell you how to categorize them, the portions, what you should put it with. It tells you absolutely everything. We have the best resources if you make yourself available to those. But we also can eat out at restaurants. I tell everybody, do not get stressed at the end of the day and just throw your hands up in the air and go through a fast food restaurant and order something that's not approved. We have so many choices. So obviously Chick-fil-A is at the top of that list. It's my favorite. I love Chick-fil-A. I eat at Chick-fil-A an unreasonable amount of times in a week, but it's okay. I lost 50 pounds doing it too. So Chick-fil-A, you can do 8 to 12 grilled chicken nuggets. You're just going to choose to have that with a side salad rather than the French fries. If you're willing to give up 4 of those nuggets to get you 8 fried, then you could do that too. But you don't have the French fries, you have the side salad. I know it, and then I also, when I go into Chick-fil-A, can order the filet. You can do that grilled, fried, spicy, any of those work. The chicken strips don't work though. I'm not exactly sure why, but they don't work. They're not on the program. The nuggets are, and then the fillets are. And if you're there in the morning, the egg white grill works. The egg white grill. So let's have a look at the rest of these. Mexican restaurant, you have a bowl of chicken soup, no rice, 3 soft chicken tacos, just use your own tortilla. This is called taking a survival kit. So you take your survival kit. Your survival kit might have some dressing in it. It might have a tortilla in it. If you know you're going to the Mexican restaurant, take yourself some strips of bell peppers, or actually they can cut them up for you, and dip that in a little bit of cheese dip. If you haven't had an extra and already in the day, because remember on the program, we like for you to eat just 3 meals a day. That's your goal. Your goal is 3 meals a day. But we do have freebies, an extra, and a snack that you could utilize. Depending, everything in this program is situational. So maybe you are going out to eat Mexican that night and you want a little bit of cheese dip. Well, you can utilize that. You're just going to have it with maybe some strips of bell pepper, and take your tortilla and wrap up your chicken soft tacos in your own tortilla. And then I'm not going to read over this whole list because I want to give you like a little assignment, okay? I am going to go over this one. Wendy's chili, a small chili over a side salad is a huge, huge hit with a lot of people. But what I highly suggest for this is that you go ahead and go into the restaurant guide, look up the restaurants that you know you frequent the most often, and go ahead and look and see what is available at those restaurants. Open up the item and read how they're going to have you order that to make it Shibboleth approved. That way, if you know you're going out somewhere, you can make sure you take the items for your survival kit and have what you need. But anytime you're going to a sit-down restaurant, you could do a category 4, protein plus fat, with a category 2, fibrous carb. And you can also do a category 1, which is a lean protein, or a category 7, which is a shellfish, with a category 2, fibrous carb. Now, the reason that I said category 2, fibrous carb, and didn't list anything else is all meat at a restaurant needs to be considered a category 4, because you don't know what oil they cooked it in. So they've taken a piece of lean protein, they've cooked it in some unapproved oil, and because you didn't know what oil they cooked it in, you have to consider it a 4 to keep yourself safe. Y'all let me know if you have any questions. Hey, Alice, watching on Facebook. You guys let me know if you have any questions at all. And if you want me to show you anything on the website right now, if you have any questions about anything that I said and where it might be found on the website, please let me know. I'm happy to do that. This website right here that we've just gone over will be put in our Facebook group in just a few minutes, along with this webinar, if you needed to rewatch it or if you need to visit this website. All of that will be in the Facebook group in just a little bit. But if you've got any questions, y'all please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. And make sure that you go back and do day 2 post in the Facebook group this morning, and then in the morning look for day 3. Even if Facebook doesn't give you the notification that something was posted in the group, you need to know that you got to go to the group and find it and do it. Okay, so Jennifer's asking on Facebook, why do some of the items say must be eaten before p.m.? Because it is best for fat burning. So when you go to bed at night, you want to go to bed, one, very light. So a lot of, you don't want to be digesting all night long. So some of the things are a little bit heavier, and you want to try to expend energy on those things before you go to bed. So it's all about burning fat efficiently. You don't want to eat certain things and then just go to bed, because there's not as much energy being expended while you're sleeping. So it's best to get some energy expenditure on the things that say must be eaten before 4. Or best eaten before 4. And some things say that too, because they, like for example, the hemp bars, they're kind of energizing because it's a European chocolate, and so it's best to eat that in the morning before. It's best to eat that before 4 as well, so that you can sleep at night. I hope that answers your question, Jennifer. We want to get some energy expenditure on certain things before going to bed. If you guys have any questions about anything on the website, please let me know. I absolutely love to show our website. The tools that we have before us are absolutely amazing, amazing. And one of the most fun things that you can do is create yourself a vision board. Create yourself a vision board. It is underneath your profile in the website. And one of the videos this week should be on creating that. I think, did I do that one? I don't know. I might have to create a vision board video if I didn't do it. All right, well, I don't see any questions or anything flying up into here. So y'all, I'm gonna let you go tonight, but please, absolutely, please go into the Facebook group daily and check the video, because it's gonna come out before 6 o'clock in the morning, and you can watch me showing you how to utilize the website. You'll see your little assignment, and please respond. I ask you questions like, what would be a lean protein and a fibrous carb meal that you want to eat? I like to see you guys post that, like comment, not post it, comment with that, because it helps me know that y'all are really paying attention. All right, well, I'm going to say bye. If you're on Facebook, give me some hearts as we go off. And if you're on the Zoom room, I will see y'all later. Please like the Shibboleth public page and join me in the mornings for the Shibby Show. It's fun. It's fun. Gets our day started great. Bye, y'all. You're welcome, Erlinda. You're welcome.